Thrilling and compelling, this crime novel set in contemporary Lagos features a British hack who stumbles into the murky underworld of the city. The action starts when a woman's mutilated body is discarded outside a club near one of the main hotels in Victoria Island. The police pick up a bystander as a potential suspect. After experiencing the unpleasant realities of a Nigerian police cell, he is rescued by Amaka, a guardian angel of Lagos working girls. He gradually falls for her. Crime, corruption, love, the rhythms of Lagos. This novel spares little. Born on a Tuesday by L. Nathan John. This novel has been shortlisted for almost every major award in Nigeria. The story is set within the far reaches of northwestern Nigeria, where a certain Dantala lives amongst a gang of street boys that are paid to cause trouble during an election. When trouble starts, Dantala runs for his life and ends up at a mosque in a motor park, where he soon becomes a favored apprentice to the mosque's sheikh. When one of the sheikh's closest advisors began to raise his own radical movement, Dantala finds himself faced with a terrible conflict of loyalties. As bloodshed erupts in the city around him, he must decide what kind of man he wants to be.
Well, there are several stories. One I like to talk about is of a young Almajiri I met in Zaria, who, as you know, occurs to a lot of Almajiris in Nigeria, had been erased from consciousness, from society, from public conversation. You know, even something as basic as a name was denied him, and we called him Yaro, a boy, you know. And I started talking with this man called Basiru, this young man, and he sort of led me into his life slowly over the course of a few years, you know, about where he was from, whether or not he was going to go back, you know, and the challenges he faced right there in Zaria, you know, where he slept, where he ate, and all of that. And so, just for the first chapter, I thought of this while I was creating the main character, and I would say that he's my primary inspiration for the main character, the protagonist of the novel.
Smart Money Woman by Arese Ugu. This might end up becoming one of your favorite money books. Arese Ugu uses the story of Zuri, a young and urban African woman, to draw the reader's attention to some of the most common financial problems people, especially women, have to deal with regularly. Zuri is living a fabulous life with a great car, gorgeous apartment, and well-paid job. Suddenly, her castles begin to crumble, mainly due to bad financial management. This book deals with debt, spending, the consumerist culture of the African middle class, and misconceptions surrounding money. Bury Me Come Sunday Afternoon by Nike Campbell Fatoki. This is a very enjoyable collection of short stories that depict a variety of life experiences and personalities, ranging from a young, ambitious and hard-working Nigerian abroad to a brilliant but broken woman struggling with mental illness. Nike's language is precise and direct. Her characters are sharply observant and self-aware, even as they battle odds that stack against them. This book is fun and easy to read.
The Hunchback, the very last one. That's the longest story. It was actually supposed to be a novella, but that didn't work out. It wasn't long enough. It was really kind of loosely based on my trip to Makoko community on the island mainland area, over Third Mainland Bridge. I started writing the story actually before I visited the community, because I just done some research on communities built on water, and I'd read the story about the 72-hour vacate notice that they had and the things that went on there. So it caught my attention. So that's how I started researching. And when I came home in 2014, I actually visited the community as well, and I got to know their plight, where most of them are displaced people that came to live on that waterlogged community as well. So I wanted to just speak to how they live, how they survive, the things that they've gone through as a community, and individually what they as individuals have gone through, why they moved to the community. And I told this through the eyes of Shadi, a young girl.
A Conspiracy of Ravens by Othuke Ominiables. Espionage, big oil companies, a civil war, the unrest in Nigeria's Niger Delta, the Boko Haram insurgency, kidnapped workers, a British journalist, a desperate president, a ruthless assassin. This book mixes everything up and serves you a thriller you will find hard to forget. It is mainly the story of Tari, a Niger Delta militant commander, and his battle to fight a war he believes in, and that of Alex Randa, a DSS operative tasked with the assignment of stopping him.
I have read a lot of thrillers. In fact, I grew up reading thrillers. I never really read any other genre. So I think I have more of an action mind. You know, I've always wanted to do thrillers. I've always wanted to, write something that would keep people flipping the pages, something that you'd be reading and be like, wow, look at what just happened here. I always wanted to be able to do that. The characters just came, they just all started coming alive. Just, I don't know, from thin air. I didn't really sit down to say, let me structure out how this character was going to, form out or spun out. I just wanted to show human beings.
Guardians of the Seal by Tunde Leya. This is an intriguing, fast-paced and exciting fantasy fiction novel. The central theme of Leya's Guardians of the Seal is drawn from the eternal battle of good and evil, God and Lucifer, angels and demons. The idea of a supernatural realm dictating happenings in the physical is explored. The central characters hold the destiny of the world in their choices while they fall in love. That love is what Leya's demons and angels battle to use for the benefit of their overlords. The plot is fascinating and the book is brilliantly written. Even if you're not a fan of fantasy fiction, you might likely enjoy this.
I wanted to explore fantasy. That genre is not one that we have explored a lot. And considering where we are, in Nigeria, we have such a rich plethora of choices to make around what mythology we want to base our fantasy on. Because we read, we can base on our own local mythology, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Delta, all of that. We can do that. It became very concerning that we were not getting a lot of works that explored all of the available mythology to build, fantasy worlds in our society here. And that's one of the reasons I wrote this.